This is the Common App essay that got me into over 15 colleges. Something that captivates me is a house that I don't even own. When I was younger, it was known as the house on the hill. This house sits on top of a hill that I can see from across the valley of my family farmhouse in insert location here. It is medium in size with an off-white trim and even has a cupola. Its alluring perennial garden and modern art sculptures continue to draw me to it. As I grew up, I started attending a Shakespearean literature and performance summer camp. There, I befriended the granddaughter of the house's owner and finally got to enter the structure. As I expected, the interior was just as charming as the exterior. The modern farmhouse architecture flawlessly complemented the modern art inside. Later, I would learn that my friend's grandfather was the abstract artist behind it all. Walking through the house for the first time was a surreal feeling. Suddenly, this fantasy I had observed from an outside perspective for so many years became something real and tangible that I could experience. The house had succumbed to art. Paintings on every wall, sculptures on every table, and sketches on every desk. It made me feel special for the first time in a long time. I got to do something that I never clearly stated as a goal, but realized it was a dream once it brought me the satisfaction of accomplishment. One of my favorite paintings from his Chelsea series is separated into 3 parts. The top is an ocean blue, the bottom is a deep purple, and the middle is a thin line comprised of happy, bright colors mirroring each other as they move away from the center. It makes me think about a conversation between 2 people, ideas large and small bouncing off and mirroring each other. I also think of a little person in a big world, kind of like me, and how problems are so much smaller than we think they are relative to the greater scheme. The great thing about abstract art is that someone else can look at this painting and see something completely different. Art is subjective, especially the abstract art in this house. It tells a story, someone's story, and it may not be your story, but doesn't that make it even more interesting? Hearing someone else's story provides you with perspective, like reading or watching a documentary narrated in the first person. When you can put yourself in someone else's shoes, whether too big or too small, you can grow by gaining more perspective and empathy, resulting in a person who is well-versed in moral decision-making. I am an advocate for perspective. I have gained a wealth of it within the past few years. Through volunteering with people of all ages and socioeconomic statuses, I've become a person who contemplates endeavors resulting in decision-making that benefits the greater good. Although that thought is very utilitarian, I consider myself a moral particularist, someone who can vacillate between the ideas of true utilitarianism and Kantian ethics. I think that a little perspective can make great strides towards positive impact on the world's people, behavior, and ideas. As much as I love the house on the hill, I don't have to return there to learn more about art and perspective. Art is everywhere, and perspective and compassion go hand in hand. As we journey through our lives, our perspective changes as opportunities and challenges arise. Our life choices that carve our ethical compass determine our impact, positive or negative, on others. We will always be students with life as our teacher, and I will always be subject to art and perspective.